Hello and welcome. This is Michele Christensen of OneNote Worthy Life, and this is a Plan With Me video for November of 2020. I'm filming in OneNote for Windows 10, and normally I would walk you through how I evaluate the past month and set new goals for the upcoming month. And I usually film this after finishing my monthly process so that I can take all the time I need for reflecting and setting new goals, and then give you a concise overview when I'm done. And you'll see that the pages I use also aren't really anything special in terms of OneNote, so there aren't really any tips or tricks to show you here. So this month started out like most months do, where I take a look at last month and I reset my goals by making some small incremental changes that move me toward my bigger goals. But before I even got my Plan With Me video filmed, things changed in a really big way. And I really dislike clickbait titles, and I don't want to make this seem more dramatic than it is. So while things really did change, there isn't going to be anything like shocking or super dramatic in this video. But I did literally change and narrow my priorities in the course of a day. It was very short notice. So from month to month, there is usually a lot of continuity in my plans. So even though we're well into November, I did want to show this Plan With Me so that you can see how sometimes things come up and you just have to pivot. So let's get into it. So I do start with reviewing my prior month's goals, which in this case is October. And on this page, we see the goals for OneNote Worthy Life, which is my YouTube channel and website and all that. So my first goal was to follow my editorial schedule, and I've been working on this goal for more than a month now. And as time has passed, I've gotten a little bit better. I've troubleshooted the process, added new things to it, and I've gotten really, really close. If you hear animals walking around, those are my dogs. I usually put them in a different room, but they're right here with me. Anyway, so I've been steadily making progress, and in the last few months, I had narrowed this down to just one measurable thing, which is how late my first video of the following month was. And so this month, yeah, it's really late. Probably more than 2 weeks late at this point, because the Plan With Me video was supposed to be the first video for November. The second goal I had for November was to make progress on the Planner Creator series. And if you haven't seen this, I did a series of live streams with people who create planners just for OneNote. I'll link to the playlist in the description. And that went really well. It's just about done. I have one more creator to go, maybe. And then I have some kind of a wrap-up to do. So my main goal with this was that I didn't ever want to be the holdup. When you're working with other people, sometimes, their schedules, their commitments, that kind of thing can come up, but I knew I didn't want to ever hold anyone else up, and I made that goal. So I thought it might be done in October, but I'm fine with it spilling into November. No problem with that. So then the final note on this page is that I'm doing great on both of these goals, and so what should be next? And one idea I had was that maybe I should work on updating all the thumbnails on my channel or adding end screens. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do next. So now into my personal goals for October. So the first goal I have is a calorie goal, and this is usually my first goal. This is how much I try to under-eat by each day on average. And I'm still actively working to drop some extra weight, and I've been trying to hit this number for a while, and I haven't gotten there, but I do keep doing better, so I'll just, keep that where it is. My second goal has to do with Be Ready, and that's my current sort of big area of life focus. It was like my theme for 2019 and 2020 and probably beyond. And there's a link in the description to a playlist that has videos on this and what it means. But I want to just be more ready for whatever life throws at me, whether it's an unexpected challenge or opportunity or something like that. So in October, I wanted to make sure I did pretty much all of my daily habits most days, most habits most days, and I've been doing really good on that. So that was great. The next goal I had for October was to finish the HVAC upgrade we did in March. And if you've ever done like a big project like that on your home, the big work gets done, and then you're left with about a half a dozen small things. And even though it was a long time ago, I still have those things on my list. And as you can see from the comments, I did not make this goal. I didn't make any progress on it, but we had our dishwasher repaired twice, the refrigerator repaired, I helped a friend move, and I think there was one or two other home type things that happened. So it just didn't happen. But I feel okay about that because the things I did choose to do were important and I'm glad I did them. Whereas these things, aside from just bugging me because they're lingering, there's no, cost or damage or anything associated with it. So the PBC, that stands for Productivity Bootcamp. I wanted to do another pass at that. This is an online program by a fellow YouTuber. Her name is Jordan Page, and the channel is called Fun, Cheaper, Free. And I bought this back in May, and I've done like the whole program once, but I did want to do like a second pass through because I got so much out of it. And I wanted to, my goal was to get through week 2. It's set up as a 6-week program, but you can do it kind of whatever pace suits you. So I wanted to get through week 2, which would be about a third of the way through. And I almost got there. I had one video to go, but you'll see kind of how everything changed toward the end of October / early November. And then the final goal I had for October was to get our car situation sorted out. We had the catalytic converter stolen from our car a while ago, and apparently that's quite a common thing. They're easy to steal, and there's a heavy black market for them. So we've been working with the police department, the insurance company, and the car dealer, and all the paperwork and stuff. And with COVID, just everything's slower now. So we did make some progress in moving that forward. So that's good enough for now. And then what else? This is a freeform page where I just write down things that happened, whether they were good or bad or indifferent, that impacted how my month unfolded. So the first thing I have here is for OneNote Worthy Life, like what are my next goals? I have a big backlog of just kind of one-off tasks I want to do, so I could work on clearing that. I also want to go through the YouTube Creator Academy, and then I mentioned earlier some other goals I might have, so I'm just not sure what should be the next big area of focus. The next thing I have for October is that we need a better mask storage solution, a better place to drop the dirty ones, a better place to store the clean ones, and that kind of thing, and I'm sure I'm not alone in that. In terms of my self-study, I like to always have something I'm learning or studying or whatever. And so I did want to finish this was what I thought my plan was in October. I wanted to finish my second round of the Productivity Bootcamp, do a big GTD, that stands for Getting Things Done. That's the book and productivity system of getting things done. And then do another round of the Productivity Bootcamp before it expires in May. And then the final thing I wrote for October was that I was just feeling so much fatigue from the COVID and the election and more. So now that I've looked at October goals and what else, I want to look at my annual plan. And this is what I thought I would be doing in October when I set the year up at the beginning of the year. So we had one family birthday, which was done. We've been doing them virtually in my family. And then I wanted to finish the Planner Creator series, and I'm almost done with that. So I feel, perfectly happy with that. This final page, let me just scroll this a little bit so you can see it. This is my October calendar, and I write down one good thing that happened each day. And I really enjoy doing this because at the end of the month, I just love looking at this page. I look at it and it just makes me happy to see all the good things that happened. And I feel like as I go through my day, it gives me kind of a focus. I know before I go to bed, I have to write something down on this calendar. So it kind of makes me look for good things that happen, which is also really fun. So normally at this point, I would get into setting up November. We've analyzed October, ready to get into November, but things changed. So around the beginning of November, I just felt like everything kind of just hit me. I got a major bout of COVID fatigue. Now, I am well. I have not had COVID, and I don't want to undermine or underplay the suffering of other people, but this COVID fatigue thing is not just me. It's a lot of people are just feeling really fatigued from having to quarantine and not being able to see their friends or family or do the things that they want to do and stuff. And I heard someone coin the term COVID fatigue, and I feel like I have a major case of it. I've been saying that I don't ever remember in my lifetime ever feeling as tired as I feel right now. And it's not sleep related. It's not like something that sleep could cure. It's just this overwhelming sense of emotional fatigue. And then election fatigue. We just went through a presidential election in the U.S., and it was very there was just a lot of news, a lot of events. It was much more eventful than I remember any election being. And I think regardless of whether a person's candidate won or lost, whichever side they were on, I think a lot of people in the US are just feeling this sense of fatigue with how much news there's been and you know, how the election was different because of COVID and that kind of thing. Then, as I mentioned, I just had so many home repairs. And by themselves, any one of these isn't that big of a deal, but you know, when you stack like 5 or 6 of them on in the course of a month, and then, you know, they give you a half-day window, so you're sitting at home waiting, and you know, you have somebody in your house sometimes for half a day, it was just a lot. So then the sewer became a priority in early November, and if you have been following my Plan with Me's for a while, this has been kind of something we've been working on for a while, maybe a year or so. We have a problem with where the lateral, that's what the line that leaves your house is called, where that joins the city, there's a problem, there's a faulty connection, and we believe it's the city's fault. They think it's on the part of the line that we own. So we've been going back and forth with them and trying to file paperwork and dealing with insurance people and adjusters, inspectors, multiple agencies and things like that. And in early November, we had someone out here who said, listen, this line is going to fail and you need to get it fixed now. So instead of becoming a repair, if it fails, you end up with something that could impact, you know, people like for, you know, in a whole radius around you, like all the houses around you. It could be a like toxic waste problem if it's the sewer line and that kind of thing. So this immediately went to the top of the priority list, to the exclusion of everything else. On the one hand, it's forced us to tackle this problem now, whether we want to or not. But on the other hand, sometimes the priority becomes so crystal clear that it doesn't even require thinking about. And this, like, absolutely has to happen now, so that no matter what else needs to be set aside, I'm crystal clear on the fact that this needs to be the top priority. So in that sense, I'm glad to have that clarity at least. And then this also explains why, a big reason why November goals look nothing like they would have as a continuation of October goals. So the final point I want to put in here is that I have been feeling a really strong pull to go back and do like a big GTD reset. So getting things done, it's a book and productivity system, and it's been really life-changing for me. And I don't say that lightly. I don't say that about a lot of things, but this thing really has. And the first time I read it was maybe 10 years ago, and then I think I skimmed it like 5 years ago, and I have just been feeling a pull to really dig back into it, go back into it with a beginner's mind and re-implement it from top to bottom. Because what happens is over time, like, things get a little bit sloppy, that entropy starts to creep in, the way you keep up your systems and your reminders and things starts to get a little sloppy and loose. And life changes too. So the systems that suited 5 years ago may not be suitable any longer. And I feel like I've been experiencing more stress than I really need to because my systems have gotten a little bit sloppy. So I've been just feeling this very strong pull to go back and redo that whole GTD from top to bottom. So with all that being said, now let's talk about November. So I'm starting with my November annual plan, and this is what I thought I would be working on in November when I set up the year, but that just seems like forever ago, and who knew how 2020 was going to unfold. We have one family birthday, which, as I said, we've been doing them virtually, so that'll be no problem. Thanksgiving, I already have my stay-at-home plans made, and I want to start planning for 2020 to the extent I'm able. I really don't know how that's going to look. And then I want to do some preparation for December. I don't do a whole lot for the holidays, but I do like to do whatever I can ahead of time so that whatever I do end up doing in December, I don't have to feel too busy. I really don't like the feeling of being overly busy. It kind of like stresses me out. So the more I can do ahead of time, the more I can enjoy whatever I do end up doing in December. So now on to November goals. Now, normally I would have 2 pages for this because I'd have anywhere from 2 to 5 goals for each, like personal and work. But this month, especially with this big sewer project, I only have, 2 and then 3 for personal. So it all fits on one page. So for One Noteworthy Life, which is my YouTube channel, I'm going to just do my best to follow my editorial schedule without any pressure on myself. And then I want to finish the Fall Planner Creator series with that one more creator, and then do some sort of a wrap up, or at least get the wrap up scheduled. On a personal front, I have the same calorie goal, and then that sewer repair, I want to get that thing done. And then finally, I want to start rereading Getting Things Done, which I've already have started, and it's been great. And then this last line here, I added that nothing else matters. And this is just to remind myself that the things I've identified right here, even though there's only a few, are the only things that matter right now. So the final thing I want to show you is my November calendar. And it's already filled in quite a bit because we're well into November. Then that's it. We are all set up for November. And as I do at the end of every Plan With Me video, I want to take this opportunity to encourage you to start your own goal setting and review process. So even though this month I pretty much wiped the slate clean and changed everything, it was really helpful to have a plan to work from, because not only am I really clear on what I do have to do, but I'm also clear on what I let go of, which is just as important. So if you don't have a setup like this where you review and assess things and set new goals and things like that, I encourage you to just start that. And if you do have a system like this, I encourage you to keep working your system even when life changes a lot. So if you have any questions or comments or something you want to see in more detail, or a question you think I can answer for you, please leave that in the comments below. And if you want to see more videos like this, as well as OneNote tutorials, subscribe by hitting the subscribe button, and let me know you like this by hitting the thumbs up button. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day. Bye-bye.